Dobar dan, poštovani gledatelji, dobrodošli u novi podcast. Velika mi je čast i zadovoljstvo danas vam predstaviti Adolfa Sormanija, šefa stručnog stožera HB Torshavna, idućeg protivnika Hajduka iz Splita u Konferencijskoj ligi, inače bivšeg i profesionalnog nogometaša i Napolija i Parme i nekoliko klubova po Italiji, ali trenera koji već nekoliko godina gradi svoju karijeru uspješno u Europi. Bio je trener i nekoliko talijanskih klubova, trener danskog Vejlea, trener albanskog Partizanija, a bio je i pomoćnik u stručnim stožerima i Watforda i Čire Ferrara u Wuhanu, a danas je glavni trener HB Torshavna. Adolfo, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Sorry because of my a little bit bad English, but I will do my best today.
It's the same for me, so don't worry about that. The most important thing is that we can communicate and we understand each other.
Yeah. Like I said on introduction on Croatian language, you are now chef, main coach of HB Torshavn. Now you have 20 days the rest for game for Hajduk. You have a little bit pause in your competition. What is situation now in HB Torshavn? What are the feelings before the game with Hajduk?
We know that we are a small club in a country in which football is improving a lot. They have very good facilities. So, in my opinion, right now the Football Federation is trying to increase the level and to give the possibility to young players to improve. And we know that there is a big difference in between the two countries in terms of tradition, of historical part that is important, and for us it's a big challenge for sure. But it's also a very interesting opportunity to understand our level and the way we can deal with the team that for sure is much better than us. But the most important thing for us is to keep our identity, try to play our football, try to do what we want to do every time. Then, of course, it will depend on the quality of the opponents. But apart from that, I insist, we don't have to lose our identity. This is the most important thing for me.
Last year, club for your country, Klaksvik, first time they go in Conference League groups. They have good results. In the home, they play with France Club Lille 0-0. They beat Olimpija Ljubljana 3-0. It's always difficult to play in Faroe Islands.
But I think that it's always difficult to play against whoever. If you are not ready, if mentally you underestimate the quality of the football. But apart from that, I think that as always, we have to play with great enthusiasm, with a fantastic attitude. These are the reason why I'm very curious to see what will be the impact during that game on my players.
You are first Italian coach of HB. Your club have 0 Croatian players in their history. They've been 24 times national champions. Your first reaction when they call you? In the first game, you win the first trophy with HB. You win the Super Cup against Klaksvik. And you beat Klaksvik 4 times in a row this season. Start from a dream come true. I think 14 victories in first 15 games with HB. And what was first reaction when they call you, when you see where you must go on the leave and create a new job, a new story?
At the beginning, I didn't know anything about the country apart from the fact that we have one player that is Villemor Davidsen, that is my former player in Vejle, and he told me a lot of good things about the club, about the possibility that they had to improve, and the will to improve about the club. So when they called me, it was the curiosity, the first thing that moved me to try to understand more about them. Then when I spoke to them and I could see that there is a lot of job that you have to do, I said, okay, it could be a good challenge for us to take it.
And how is for living there? People say small country, small town, but for you or for your family, it's big difference when or living it or in Italy or in Faroe Islands.
I've always thought that when you go to another country, when you go abroad, you need to adapt. I've been in England, Denmark, Albania, many different countries, and I have to say that wherever you go, there are things that you can that you like, and there are things that probably don't belong to your habits and routines. But apart from that, you need to accept that and never forget that you are there for doing your job at the top. So my focus is on the job, is not on the city or the way they live. That of course it's important, because in the end you are a human being. So there's a moment in which football is put apart. But I have to say that my focus, 90% of the time that I spend is on football, and so to be honest, I don't think too much about that.
When you came, are you a bit surprised with the strength of your team? Because you have many interesting players, many players who've been in academies in Denmark, especially in Midtjylland. You told me you know Vilmor Davidsen, he's captain of national team of Faroe Island. He played with you in Vejle. He have, I think, 200 caps for Vejle. You have Hanus Sorensen. He is now also playing for national team of Faroe Island. We have, for me, the best player in your team, number 10, Aki Samuelsen. I think he scored 2 hat-tricks in a row in last couple of games. He also is in national team under 21. He was also in Midtjylland Academy. So many interesting player, and Hajduk expect hard job with you.
Well, I think hard job, I don't know. As I said to you, for sure we will play with a heart. We will play as a unit with the idea to give everything, to do our best. Then, of course, I know Rino Gattuso very well. I rate him very high, first of all, as a human being, because I think that is an extraordinary person, very direct to the players, to the media, and it's not easy to find people like him. And as a coach, what he did in the past, he has a fantastic career. So it will be, as I said to you, a very good challenge. We know that for us will be a tough challenge. But I insist again, we have to play the way we want and not to adapt depending on the quality of the opponents. Of course, then the quality of the opponent will change the game. But apart from that, I want that my team will keep their identity and try to play the way they can and they want.
Yeah, I just want to say, people in Croatia, Aki Samuelson in last 2 games for national team, he scored against England 1 goal, against Holland 2 goals. So Faroe Island have a good team in that youth categories. And one interesting thing, your goalkeeper Tetru Gesson will have 400 caps in for club in Poljud, in Split. He will have that. I don't know. Good result for him. 400 caps for one club.
I think that is a fantastic record for him, and I wish him that he can improve a lot in that sense. For sure, he's one of the most important players in terms of experience, in terms of what he can give us. For the way we will have to deal with a game like that, in which the pressure will be completely different, especially playing away with, as you said, a a stadium like that with all the supporters. They push a lot the Hajduk split team. So I think that for them, for us, the keeper is an asset.
Yeah, and you have on position in defense Samuel Chukwudi. He was also in Royal Union Academy. Royal Union is a great club now for Belgium. And in the history, when I saw your club's results, Malmo, Red Bull Salzburg, all of them lose or not scoring a victory in the clashes with HB Torshavna in Torshavna. So you are not a very good host for guests.
But, I insist. I think that football is unpredictable, and so I always tell to my players, don't forget that you have to enjoy it. So go there, try to do your best, try to put everything. And after that, if you lose the game, but after doing all that you could do, I'm really happy. And so the result is important, but my opinion is that the performance is much more important. And so I insist when I speak to them, I tell them, it's the way you play that is important. It's your feeling during the game that is important. I want to see you enjoying the game.
Yeah, just for Hajduk fans, the last 4 games whole been in Europe where they play in the home, Budućnost Podgorica, Maccabi Haifa, Newtown, Derry City, 0 losses. So they must be careful with your team. And do you know what your team expected in Split? Because I think the stadium would be full, and big atmosphere in Split and big hype now.
100%, but I think that is a good opportunity. When you play that kind of game, you should be proud. So I think that is the right, the perfect atmosphere to challenge. And so I think that you don't need pressure. You need to play the game and enjoy all the environment.
Last year in Europe games, one player from your league pay attention for themselves. It's Arni Frederiksberg. He played for Klaksvik, and many big teams watch him. And what do you think about his quality? For me, he was big surprise last year from Faroe Island teams.
He's one of the best player of the championship, and he has a very good quality. Left-footed, is a player who can shoot from wherever is his position on the pitch. Very good in assisting. I think that is a very good player. And Klaksvik, of course, they have to be proud for what they did last season in Europe, for the first time in which a Faroe team had the opportunity to play a group in Europe. So they have to be proud of that. And as you said, he is for sure one of the best players in the championship.
Yeah, you beat Klaksvik, like I said before, 4th time this year. It's very good result. But one player also interesting me because he was guest on this podcast is Deni Pavlović, also from Klaksvik, and also good career there.
Absolutely. Strong player, very solid. A player that is very versatile. He can play midfield and he can play also in the 4-back line or 3-back line. Great personality. He's one of the leaders. For sure, he's a very good player.
And my last question about Hajduk now. Hajduk have 2 superstars, I can say, in his team, Marko Livaja and Ivan Perišić. What do you think about them?
When you speak about Perišić, there's nothing you can add. For sure, what he did in his career, the last European campaign that they did. So there's nothing to say, just to applaud him and be happy to play a game against him. Livaja, I think that probably in terms of quality, he could do more in his career, but he's for sure a top player, 100%.
I want to introduce you for Croatian audience, so I will start with your coaching career, then playing career. But when you start coaching career, you was a coach of some small team, Conegliano, in the North Italy, small town. They are famous about their Prosecco wines, and they are famous because that is the city of born Alessandro Del Piero. He was born Alessandro Del Piero, and also Marco Donadel, former Milan and Fiorentina player. They have shirts like Parma, clubs where you play. And how was the start of your coaching career?
I think that was the perfect environment because Veneto, that is the region where is Conegliano, is a big region, but there's not so much pressure. They love football, but it's not the same as it is in the south of Italy, in which they are more wild. I would say that they support the team in a different way. They are very close to the players, but even when you lose the game, the everything change, and then the mood can change, and so the players very often they are under pressure. So was as I said to you, was perfect because the environment was good, and I could have the possibility to try to experience. And as a coach, I think that is the best for you when you start and you have the possibility to try what you think is the best for you.
Then you go in Naples, you go in Napoli Academy, working with Primavera squad. How is their work for you? And
was fantastic because I, as a player, I grew up in Napoli. So of course, many things have changed during this period. But I was very. I love Napoli because as I said to you, I'm part of that. Was important to me because I had the opportunity to work also close to the first team. And we had very, very good players. Probably not many people know that the majority, probably 10-50% of the players in Serie A, they come from Campania, that is the region where is Napoli. So there are a lot of gifted players in that region. So it was very good to see how many good players, young players, they can have in around them.
Then you received the call from Gianfranco Zola, ex-star from Napoli, Parma, Chelsea. Everybody knows Gianfranco. And you've been assistant coach in Watford, 1 year in Championship and second year also in Championship. How was experience working in England, and can you, looking a little bit forward, and remember I think the most exciting game in the history of that stuff, Leicester Watford, the crazy game, and Watford wins. Troy Deeney scored this amazing goal after they missing a penalty. Can you tell me this story about Watford?
But Watford has changed completely my vision of football, because when you go to England, you need to cancel everything you have done before and try to re-elaborate everything, because England is completely different. And I have to say that they are at the top. They are at the top in football because of the way they think football, because the way they live football. There's no pressure. It's just to have fun. All the supporters, and it doesn't depend on the result. If you do your best, if you push until the end, they are happy. And even if the result is not good enough, they support you. They clap hands for you. So it's the environment is fantastic. The game you said before was crazy against Leicester, because the referee, he gave them a penalty. I think that was at the end of the
95 minutes. 95 minutes.
Yeah, 95 minutes. So if they scored, of course, we would have been knocked out from the final. And was crazy because they missed the penalty, and if you see the clip of that game,
the best video, in YouTube have millions of views.
I think that was crazy, the reaction of 7-8 players counter-attacking in that way and score. So fantastic. I have to say that it's a great spot for football, for all the world of football.
Yeah, Leicester have a great team in that days. Schmeichel, Chris, Vardy, Harry Kane playing that game for Leicester. And final match with Crystal Palace, a match on Wembley, match for 100 million pounds, like they say. Big stress in extra time. You didn't reach a goal and you lose the game.
Yeah, I have to say that we were not so lucky in that period because we lost two key players for us. One was Forestieri and the other one was Vidra, our top scorer. And for us was a big loss because the game, as you said, a lot of pressure, the media all the time, the last 48 hours close to the team. And so there was a lot of pressure. We lost at the very last minute. I think that for sure was a penalty that was conceded because Marco Cassetti made a fault. I think there was Zaha, the striker, who scored and the penalty. So unlucky, the game was not so good and we didn't play the way we could.
Then you go in Südtirol, and after Südtirol, Partizani, Albania. New experience for you. First game was big games against Ferencvaros from Hungary in Champions League qualification, second round, and you beat Ferencvaros and you pass them and you play against Red Bull Salzburg. Great success in the start of your journey with Albania football.
Yes, was both games very well played with great intensity, great focus, of course, strong attitude, because if you could see the quality in between the two teams, there was no possibility for us to win. But as always, football is unpredictable and you need to believe in that.
I will ask you about your episode in Wuhan, in China. Ciro Ferrara, your friend and teammate from Napoli Academy before, he called you, he was there before. You came in the winter 17, but you've been there only two games. What was the problem there?
But the problem, I think, was because Ciro started the season and there was not a great feeling in between him and the club. And as always, when in football, there's not this kind of alchemy. There's not this kind of feeling. In my opinion, it's totally pointless to keep going. And they decided to split, and this is the reason why then we left.
Yeah, in that time, Fabio Cannavaro was coach there, Clarence Zeder was coach there. But you have in team former player of Hajduk, Jean-Evrat Kouassi. How was Kouassi? In what form was there, and how you remember him as a player?
Very good guy, very talkative, very communicative player, and very fast. I liked him a lot as a human being, first of all, and then as a player.
Now we go on your episode in Denmark. You made great success with Vejle. You made direction. You, I think, win second league and go directly in first league with Vejle.
You know, I'm very proud of that because the club is an historical club in Denmark, and in the last
one interesting thing. Sorry to interrupt. They play Champions League against Hajduk in 70s or 60s. So there was connection between Hajduk and Vejle.
Okay, and as I was telling you, the club is an historical club. And when I arrived there, they was the 10 years consecutive in which they were playing first division, and there was not the idea to win the league, but we started so well, and we played so well until the end, and then we succeeded, and was a fantastic season for the supporters, for the club. Was so very important because was a sort of rebuilding from something that they had lost in the recent past, and we gave them also the possibility to be proud of the team, and was really good for the club, for the supporters.
Yeah, and I think in the first 7 games you have 6 victories immediately. You have big success. I will ask you in that time about 2 players, Kerim Memija. He is here recognized like Bosnia and Herzegovina national team player, and Rasmus Lauritsen, who play in Dinamo Zagreb, Croatian champions.
2 fantastic guys, very, very talkative, very, very, very polite guys, and 2 very good players. So I love them.
And tell me, next year you play Super League, the highest level of Denmark football.
Yeah.
First game victory, second game against Brøndby away, draw, big results, and then start problems and not so good results. And you have in that time in the team Gustav Nilsson, now play of also Royal Union, Belgian club, who have great results in the last couple of years. And he is, recognized in Europe like a good player now.
100%. But I think that if you see the results were not so good, but in terms of performing, I think that we played a very good football. And I received a football federation data from the first part of the season. And I have to tell you that if you see the data, we could be in the 6th, 5th position on the table. So I have to say that many times we had the opportunity to do more than what we did. Unfortunately, we changed a lot of players, and this is one of the reasons I thought that was one of the problems with the club, because especially when you face a new chapter in which the quality increases, and you have to deal with that, because you are starting a new chapter. As I said to you, you need stability, and you need to have at least 6-7 players that are part of that, and you cannot change so many players. This is the reason why I said to the club that probably we made a mistake in order to change so many players.
Adolfo Sormani is a very good coach, but he was also a very good player. Now I will ask you some questions about your playing career. You are born in Naples, and your first A-team game was 84 Ascoli Napoli. Do you remember that game? You were on the bench, coach Rino Marchesi, and first time when you are on the bench for first team Napoli.
I remember that game very well, because Dirceu, the former Brazilian midfielder, fantastic player and fantastic guy, he didn't feel so good during the week. And so he told me, Dodo, probably you have to play because I don't feel good. And to be honest, I didn't sleep for 2 days because thinking about the fact that I had to play instead of him was a massive challenge. But I remember that day very well.
Ciro Ferrara, like I said before, he was teammates in Napoli Academy. And the next year, 84-85, Diego Armando Maradona came in Napoli. Have you been playing with Maradona, or he passed away from you for one year?
No, unfortunately, I went to play away. I went to play with Arrigo Sacchi team in Rimini, because they sent me on loan there, but everybody told to me about Maradona, so we knew everything from Napoli.
Yeah, Ciro Ferrara plays with Maradona. Everybody knows that. But when Maradona steps in Napoli and when he go out from Napoli, nothing is the same before. Now tourists came in Naples, and in these days, in our Naples is also Maradona town.
I have to say that everybody in Napoli remember him every day, and as you can see, also the tourists, the majority of them, they go to Napoli because they want to see his pictures that are in the neighbor that is one of the most famous neighbor in Napoli, and so I think that the Napolitan people have to be proud of that.
You're a son of AC Milan legends. I will ask you about that in the end of the interview. Angelo Sormani, a Milan Hall of Famer. But now I will ask you about episodes in Rimini and Parma. And first time when you play against Milan, how your feelings are like? Your father is there, a legend. They have a coach, I think, in that days, Nils Lidholm, who also coaches of your father, Maldini Baresi in defense. How is feel play against Milan in that days?
For sure, it was fantastic to play in San Siro. And then I remember that for us was really good because we knocked them out of the Coppa Italia. So it was a good challenge for Parma. And, you know, we were a team from Serie B with all young players in between 18, 21, 22 years old. So very young with no experience. So going there and play against such a players was very important and was a fantastic impact to play the game.
One question about Arrigo Sacchi. He's one of the famous Italian coaches. He coached you also in Parma in Serie B, and next year he took a Milan. Do you know how it's possible that Milan in that days took Arrigo Sacchi for coach who was year before in Serie B and didn't go in Serie A or some great success on the paper, like how they say?
I think that the reason why they did that is very simple. They had a vision. They realized that his vision of football was so modern, was so top that they decided to bring him in, and they made a fantastic choice because he changed completely the level in AC Milan, and it's thanks to him that they started to win again and to become the dream team that then they became in the next years.
Year 88, you play for Avellino and you came first time in Napoli like a guest player. For the Napoli plays Ciro Ferrara, Maradona, and how it feels for you play against your team, Napoli.
It was not so good. We lost 3-0, so it was not a good game. But apart from that, when you play against Maradona, I think that you have to be proud of that. So it's a great feeling.
And one interesting thing from your part of career in Viareggio, you were teammate with Luciano Spalletti, now first team coach of Italy national team. How was Luciano in that days? You know, he was a great defender.
Very talkative, funny guy. Was one of the most talkative players in the dressing room. Very good memory, to be honest.
Now, like I say to you before interview, I'm a big fan of AC Milan, and your father is Angelo Sormani, Hall of Famer of AC Milan, one of the legend, guy who scored goal in the Champions League final. So I will, for audience, just be patient. 30 seconds. I will show this goal for Croatian people.
Mentre vediamo un contropiede del Milan. È Sormani a effettuarlo. Cerca la luce, tira di sinistro, rete, 3-1. Ha segnato Sormani. Siamo al 21esimo della ripresa. Sormani ha portate a 3 le reti per il Milan.
This is the great goal from your father. But your father born in Brazil, and when he started career, his teammate was Pelea, one of the greatest players of the game. And can you tell me a little bit about your father, about Pelea, and these ages when you see him like a kid of international football star.
You know, my father is not so talkative. You need to force him to speak about this, his past, his career. But I think that he should be proud of what he did, because starting from a very small team in Brazil and then playing 2 or 3 seasons with Pelea, the top player in the world, and then moving to Italy and have the possibility to win everything, because in 5 years I think that they won Championship, Coppa Italia, Europa League, Champions League, World Club Cup, so everything. I think that he should be proud to have been part of that in AC Milan with a lot of very good players. For example, Rivera, Prati, Snellinger,
Trapattoni,
Cudicini. I would say a lot of players that are legends for AC Milan.
Yeah, goalkeeper Cudicini is the father of
Yes.
Carlo Cudicini, who played in Chelsea many years.
Yes.
And your father played on the World Cup '62. Do you have maybe some anecdote or interesting story from that World Cup?
It was not a great campaign for Italy.
Yeah, he played also only first game, but he played.
Yeah, no, he played and they won the last game. So personally, I think that he was happy about that, but the campaign was not good enough. And when they came back to Italy, there was a lot of criticism. Of course, Italy is always the same. When you don't win, they criticize you every time.
And did he make you a couple of stories with Nils Lidholm, legend of Milan, who was his coach?
You know, I think that the one thing that is very funny to say is that one day he told my father, I remember that I missed my first pass in AC Milan after 5 years, because I never missed one pass in 5 years. And so this is Nils Lidholm.
Yeah, I just want to tell Croatian people, he was also coach of Roma, he was coach of Napoli, he coached Ancelotti, Boniek, Rudi Feller in Roma, many big players and football European stars.
Yes.
And he played also Mitropa Cup against Dinamo Zagreb, and many interesting story. He played for Florence with I think Čelik Zenica, and they lost in Zenica. You know, here there is team in Bosnia who are very famous for a game on the home ground. So Fiore couldn't win in Zenica. So you know,
I didn't know that. I will remember him. About this loss.
Yeah, told them, but just 2 questions. He for the end of this interview, he won Champions League, and after a year after that, how you say, Kup pobjednika kupa, we say in Croatian, in the final, he scored in that campaign 5 goals. In final, they win against Hamburg, and 2 European trophies with your father and AC Milan.
Yes, I think that was the peak of his career. Yeah. And I think that in each final, he played a very top football. So when there was pressure, I think that this is the best of my father was that when he was under pressure, he displayed the best of his football. And it's not easy to find players that when are under pressure, they played so good.
Mr. Sormani or Zormani, I know how it's spelled right. Thank you for this interview. Thank you because you are introduced with your career like a coach, like player, and your father big career, and introduce us with your club, HB Torshavna, who play with Hajduk in Conference League.
Was a pleasure.